Hello, my name is Morgan. I'm a junior in high school and I've been doing online school for about 3 years now. Today, I just thought we'd have a little chat about all of the reasons why I chose online school over public school and how I think it could benefit you and kind of helping you decide, because I know that when I was leaving, I had a ton of questions, so I just want to talk about it. There are a ton of benefits to doing online school, and I want to start by saying that I do prefer online school over public school, but I have done my fair share of both of them, so I just want to tell you what I've kind of gathered from all of that. Starting off, I want to say that I think you can do online school and be really successful at it if you are an introvert or an extrovert. I heard this all of the time when I was researching which one would be better, because everyone was saying that if you were an introvert, you should do online school and that you would do great, and if you were an extrovert, you should do public school and that's where you would thrive. Personally, I kind of disagree, because I think the biggest part of doing online school and being able to be successful at it is just self-discipline, which is a skill that you can definitely learn and you can practice and get better at. I'm an introvert, and when I first started doing online school, I had really no self-discipline. It took me so long to settle into a routine that was good and that I enjoyed, and that like helped me instead of just kind of dragging myself around all day. And my little sister, who also does online school, she's 2 years younger than me. She is more extroverted, but she still thrives doing online school. That had me really worried too, because I did still like to be social even though I am an introvert, and I still have friends and I still was part of like little social groups and everything kind of, and I was worried that since I like doing all of that, I would kind of be suffering at home, but that's totally not the case. But if you are more extroverted, I would definitely say to make sure that you keep up with your friends. You're gonna have to reach out to them more, you're gonna have to initiate hanging out more, and just really put yourself out there and kind of force yourself to reach out, I guess. Which leads me into the first thing I want to talk about, and that is the social aspect of this. Now, you can do online school and completely keep friends and have a happy social life and hang out with people all the time and do all of the things that you used to be able to do just at home. But if you are going from public school to online school, you kind of have to have friends to do all of that. So when I first left public high school, I was a freshman. This was after COVID, so I had friends and we did hang out all the time on the weekends and everything, and after school sometimes, and we would just go out and do stuff as we normally would have. And I'm very lucky that I had friends who I could go and do that with. I know a lot of people leave public school because, you know, they don't have friends and it's kind of a miserable environment for them. And I want to say also that if you are doing online school, there are ways that you can make friends. Kind of. I say that, you know, not with a lot of confidence, because it really just depends on your life and how you operate and what your family does, the kinds of things that you are involved in. Because I don't play any sports, there's no family friends I can go and interact with. So if I didn't have friends, then I would not get out much at all. It is super easy also to kind of have falling outs with your friends when you don't see them all the time every day. And you really do have to get used to kind of not knowing everything that's going on, because you don't even realize it when you're in school, but there's so much that goes on that you kind of won't even think about or acknowledge that you will be missing out on, and that can kind of suck. But once you get over that, you're gonna be fine. But having friends and maintaining friends and being social was one of my biggest concerns when I started thinking about coming home. So if you're super worried about that and you do have friends that you think you'll be able to keep and that will keep in touch with you, don't be worried about it. Just keep up with them, reach out to them often, text them every day, call them as much as you can, and you should be fine. Things are very different now than when I first started doing online school. I'm definitely in a position where I am more kind of like socially isolated, but it's not really a problem. I'm gonna be able to drive soon, and honestly it just does not affect me how I feel like it would a ton of other people. Hello? Hold on. Yo, that was my dad. What was I talking about? I think I was talking about, oh yeah, so it can get super lonely if you don't have anyone to reach out to, obviously. It is super easy to kind of get into a rut with that. It's really just all about how you think about it, and especially depending on how old you are, you're gonna be able to drive soon. I've gotten a lot closer with my sister because we spend so much time together and we're able to do a lot of things together now. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about friends. It really is like very dependent on who you are in your situation and what's kind of going on with that, because each, you know, social group is really individual, I feel. So yeah, just mentally prepare yourself for kind of loneliness if you will be having to deal with that. Okay, what's the next thing I wanted to talk about? Okay, so another one of the really big reasons I wanted to leave public school was because I didn't feel like it was benefiting me. Now, I'm only talking about this because I feel like that could be the situation for a lot of other people. Especially, I feel like it's 2024. I felt like I was sitting there all day and I was wasting my time completely. I knew there were so many other things that I wanted to do. I had so many ideas in the back of my head and I've been able to do them, but it's because I left And I can definitely say with full chest that if I had stayed in public school, I would be in such a worse place than I am right now, especially career-wise, like knowing what I want to do in my future. I wouldn't know at all what I wanted to do if I was in public school still. So I feel like being at home, ironically, and this is something that I also was worried about, has really prepared me better for my future, because being at home I've been able to start a little online business, and it's taught me so much more about actually working and like real world skills than public school ever did. What was I saying when I started talking about this? Oh yeah, so just having more opportunities. This depends on your situation also and what you want to do or what you think you want to do. What I wanted to do then is completely different than what I want to do now, like entirely. But a huge advantage that you guys have is technology, and being at home isn't as isolating as a lot of people make it out to be if you do the right things with it. Like I said before, your mindset plays a humongous role in this. If you decide to come home and do online school and you sit around and waste your time, then you're not going to go anywhere and you're probably just going to end up being depressed. But if you come into it thinking about things that you want to do and goals that you have, then you're going to be fine. I've learned so much more self-discipline doing online school and managing my own time, because you truly have to manage every single second of your day. Whereas in public school, you kind of have everything planned out for you. You're given a schedule. You're told when to go to the bathroom, when to eat lunch. You're kind of not in control of who you talk to or the people that you surround yourself with. And being at home has taught me so much about time management. I actually wake up still early, which I hated before, but now I love to do it because I can do it on my own time and I can actually do what I want with my mornings and my whole day. But before, I completely hated it. I would wake up every single morning for school furious, and pretty much I wanted to cry every single morning when I had to go to school. There have been points where I've been completely in a rut and I sleep in all week. I don't do anything throughout the day, and it's super easy to do that, and especially in the beginning when you're learning how to manage your time, because it really is something that you have to get used to. It's a huge adjustment, like a really huge adjustment, because especially being younger and never being in the position where you have to really manage anything, to then drastically being at a point where you have to manage everything all on your own, it is a lot. But after you kind of get over the curve of that, then you're pretty much good to go. You really just have to have an open mind and be able to adapt. If you know that you're a person who is terrible with time management and responsibility and discipline, I would really think about this, because you genuinely have to have so much discipline, and it has taken me the entire 3 years that I've done online school to fully gain all of it that I think that I need to be like successful or well off. I don't like to say it like that, but you honestly will waste so much time if you don't have good self-discipline. Like I'm pretty sure I mentioned earlier, you can definitely learn how to do it. It's not something that you have to be born with. I completely thought that when I was coming into this. It is not a given trait. You just have to be willing to put in the work. So if you know that you're not willing to put in the work, then I would not do online school. The work to build the discipline, I mean. And you're kind of forced to learn it anyways, because doing your schoolwork in itself is something that will become really monotonous and such a chore if you let it, and if you don't carve out time in your day to actually do it. And you kind of have to be willing to listen to yourself and build up that confidence to where if you say you're gonna wake up and do this, you're gonna actually do it. Okay, what do I want to talk about now? So another really big thing that I want to talk about that I noticed shortly after coming home to do online school is the amount of energy that I had to pretty much just live and do everything. Public school for some people can be super draining. It really was for me. It literally just sucked the life out of me. Everything I had, I could not function or think or do anything. And the pressure of being around people like that 24/7, it kind of really ate at me, and it just was a terrible environment for me. And public school can be like that for so many people, and I hate that we're just expected to go and thrive in public school when in reality it just doesn't work for some people. And that's totally okay. And if that's you, then I think online school can be really beneficial for you. My mental health, my energy has improved drastically. I have so many more hobbies now, and I kind of just feel like I know who I am kind of more solid than I ever really have. Because when I was in public school, I was trying to be like everybody else, and it just was super draining, and I hated it, and I just kind of felt like a nasty, like, blech, you know? Which leads me to the other thing that I want to talk about, and that is social anxiety. A lot of people in public school have social anxiety, which is bad for their mental health, which kind of makes it stressful for them. And I feel like, personally, since coming home to do online, my social anxiety has completely gotten so much better, because I know that when I go to the grocery store, if I see someone that I know or who knows me, I'm not really gonna have to see them on a daily basis, so it's like, oh, I literally don't care at all. Like, I used to freak out when I would have to go into a store, because what if I saw someone from school or that I know, and it was weird and it was awkward. And now if I see someone that I know, like, I just don't care, because I know that I'm not gonna have to see them regularly or at all. So that is something that completely feels so good, and it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. And I wasn't expecting that, because you would think that being at home would make you more socially anxious because you don't get out and see people as much, but it was the complete opposite for me. I have heard it go the other way around though, so it kind of just depends on who you are and how you deal with the whole thing. And actually going out and getting a job before, it sounded completely terrifying, and it still doesn't really sound like, you know, inviting, but I don't feel as like horribly afraid to go do it. The next thing is the actual program that you choose. I work through ACLS Academy, which I love. I've been through 3 programs. One of them, it was more homeschool based, and it was, I think it was free, but it's not, I really do not recommend doing that. You won't get a diploma if that's the case, and most of the ones you will get a diploma for, you are gonna have to pay for, so please just keep that in mind. But ACLS Academy offers a scholarship, the Roger Billings Scholarship, and basically you just have to watch these videos. You have to log on to this thing every Wednesday, and it does bring down the cost of the tuition, but it's not cheap. So just be prepared for that, and it really just comes down to finding a good program. But ACLS Academy is a really good one. I've also heard that Khan Academy is pretty good, K-12, I don't know if those are the same thing, but just really look into that, do your research. I will still get a diploma, like I think I mentioned. I don't know how I'm gonna get it. I guess they're just gonna like send it to me or something. And I mean, I think I touched on everything that I really want to mention, like the deciding factors. Like I just wanted to talk about some of the bigger things that were weighing on me when I started thinking about doing this. Oh, it is so different than when I did homeschool, like online school for COVID, because when I was doing that, it was still on the school schedule and I was still at my house and I still was miserable, so just keep that in mind also. This is completely different. I am genuinely so much happier now than I ever was in public school, or ever have been mostly. So yeah, I think doing online school is really great for me, and I think it can be super great for a lot of people. I honestly think I could talk about this for so long, because this is something that I feel passionate about and that I love to talk about, because a lot of people think it's this weird thing and that all people who do online school are super weird. I cannot speak for everyone, but I just think as time goes on, it's becoming more of a thing that you can do and be happy doing, and it's not so kind of stigmatized. I don't know if that's the right word. So if you want to do online school, I honestly think it's a super great option, and it all just depends on how you look at it, really. I'm probably gonna make a lot more videos about this because there's so much more that I want to say, and I could really go in depth talking about everything else. And I hope I touched on everything that I wanted to say. I think I did. But if you have any questions, please ask them, because I am so curious. And I guess that's it. Please like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe. And I will see you when I see you.